Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Yo, breaking news coming out of the White House. You know, Biden's bold Gaza ceasefire gambit. I'm going to read this article for a little bit. Before we start, like, listen, subscribe, share, hit that bell button so you can keep up with all the latest drops that we put out here. We have been tracking and keeping track of this ongoing conflict for a while. The new proposal for the ceasefire has 3 phases, the president said. The first phase would last for 6 weeks. Here's what it would include: a full and complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israel forces from all populated areas of Gaza, the release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, and the wounded, in exchange for the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. American hostages will also be released. And it said prior negotiations ran aground after Hamas insisted that it'd be able to include, here we go, folks, dead hostages, as opposed to just living ones, and the numbers required by the agreement's first phase. In a speech, Biden indicated that Israel has now acceded to this previously rejected stipulation. And he says some remains of hostages who have been killed will be returned to their families, he said, bringing some degree of closure to their terrible grief.
You know what? I mean, what I get from that, we were just discussing that offline a little bit. And what I get from that is that what I've noticed today is that when they use the word hostages, they're talking about Israelis. When they use the word prisoners, they're talking about Palestinians. So this is how they're trying to distinguish this whole entire conflict.
Yeah.
As people who are hostages, who were the ones who were attacked and the ones who were, victims, versus the other people actually being criminals.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're calling these people who you just grabbed up off the street, took in, and just like the police do here, but worse.
We've
people
seen the
who
videos.
They knew didn't have anything to do with anything. Just took them in, questioned them, probably beat them. Who knows what else they did to them? And then they called them prisoners versus calling them hostages, which they truly are. They want to demonize the Palestinians and turn the Israelis into angels.
They want to treat them like America treats the immigrants, like they're non-human, like they're nothing. One thing I've been thinking about lately is like America. We need to watch out. Because the reason I think America, the government, is okay with them killing the Palestinians like that is because they don't want nobody to question them when they start trying to do it to us.
That's very well could be. I mean, you look at the gun right laws and everything like that. We're trying to stay away from letting them take away our weapons because this is what can happen when you let them basically disarm you. Yeah, and a bigger thing too is what we're looking at is when Biden, he came out today basically asking people, well, now it's the time for you to speak out. Like we've all been speaking out for the Palestinians and what's been going on for them and free Palestine and just really staying on topic as far as letting people know what's going on in this conflict the best we can.
Yes.
What he's asking for now, he came out and it was almost like a slap in the face. Like, oh, we'll now speak out and ask Hamas to take this deal. He said, even if they want to negotiate, I've been kind of really, really like on Biden about this because this is a subject that we all kind of can feel. We're people of color. We kind of understand, just the strife that they have to go through and just what they're kind of dealing with overall, because we go through a minute version of it here.
Yes.
But at the same time, when I look and put myself in Biden's shoes, it's a very difficult position to be in. You're in an election year. We look at what AIPAC has done just with more left-leaning Democrats. They went out and sponsored more right-leaning ones who are going to have their back. You look at the whole entire government has capitulated to Israel. This entire
Joe
time.
Manchin just stopped being a Democrat,
switched over to the Republic. I mean, to being an independent. Yeah. But we have to really look at the position that he's in. He can lose the entire. Lose your soul, win the election, whatever the case may be. But this is what will happen. They'll get swept out of the House and the Senate without this money, because this money is what kind of drives us as understanding what's going on in elections, because that's what's giving us our information. That's what determines information is money.
And that'll just backfire on AIPAC, as most people don't realize. Like, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face, basically, because you think Republicans gonna give you a place in their country. They already showed you. They didn't even stop. I don't think nary person got arrested with them tiki torches. And you know exactly what they was screaming when they was waving them tiki torches.
Absolutely. And that's the long game that they're looking at. But these guys are so embedded in the government, man, that they can play that game. They can let these guys win an election and then flip back sides and flip the whole thing back on his head because they're organized.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the biggest thing, like just getting back to this, I really believe that this peace treaty needs to be, at least, if I'm Hamas, I'm trying to take the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
stop
can't,
the killing.
You got to. At this point in time, these guys have overrun everything. I think like you said off camera, what really made this deal go was the fact that when
they bombed those tents of innocent people, and we saw the video of people burning, the tents burning, them screaming, the dead children on the ground, people, because before no one could see these videos unless you were on X or you were on TikTok. But when the world finally sees it, America, the people that aren't paying attention see these videos, they're like, what have we done? Yeah. And the whole thing is like this: when these people are burning and gathering everyone up, you don't see nary gun in anyone's hand
at all.
No one's firing back. No one's shooting. They don't have any guns. They don't have any weapons. You're killing unarmed people, and then saying, "Oh, everyone else that we're attacking is underground."
Yeah, I mean, I think that Biden has tried his best he could as far as like when he tried to stop the weapons, but he knew he didn't have the support. He didn't have the support in his own party at the time to do anything about it. When he did try to stop weapons, what happened? Everybody got on him. They started making laws about anything else they could to make laws about to make sure that these guys got what they needed.
They tried to take away our freedom of speech.
So that
imagine that
tells
folks.
You where we are right now in today's politics, and then you at the same time you had Trump kind of jump on the wagon of I'll give Israel whatever they need, anything else. And so it's a difficult position. I'm happy to see that there's some kind of hopefully it's coming to some type of a close, and I hope that things kind of get back to where they need to be. But this has been a
and the second phase is they're going to have to, all the Gazians can go back to their homeland and have it. And then the agreement's third and final phase would couple in an international initiative to rebuild Gaza with the release of the bodies of any remaining hostages. It's time for this war to end, the president concluded, and for the day after to begin. So, I mean, right now he's trying to save face because it's an election year. It might be rough for him, but you should have done the right thing. You really going to give the White House back to the Republicans for a foreign country?
I mean,
well, he's doing a couple things here. I got this other article here. We're actually coming Tuesday. Biden is actually going to take, where is it? Right here. He's prepared to announce executive action early on the border, earliest Tuesday. And so it says the Biden administration is preparing to roll out a sweeping border executive action as early as Tuesday, according to two sources familiar with the discussion, who caution the timing is fluid. For weeks, the administration officials have been working through an executive action that would dramatically limit migrant ability to seek asylum in the U.S. southern border, part of a strategy to try to give President Biden the upper hand on one of his Republican rivals' key campaign issues. The action is designed to potentially blunt Republicans' attack on border security and preempt from former President Donald Trump, now convicted felon, ahead of the first presidential debate, which will be held June 27th. They're going back to what is it? The F1 or 212F between port of entry to try to clamp down on unlawful border crossings. And the whole thing is the reason the border bill failed is because Donald Trump told the Republicans not to pass it so he could do it next year.
I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like Biden's trying to clean up his closet right now.
Yeah.
As far as with the hopeful, Israeli deal. And then at the same time with this right here, now doing executive order action at the border, which, I mean, he could have done this already.
Yeah.
He could have. I understand he's trying to create a bill, something with much more teeth to it. That was something that's way more longer lasting, things that he can go. It's more of a comprehensive kind of a bill. But I mean, it feels like a cleanup act for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, at least you're doing something and smart to do it.
At least you're trying. I mean, you're trying to save your campaign at this point. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened this year, a lot of stuff. And so for me, it's like, yeah, the border deal should have been done. And they said it on Fox News. Republicans killed the bill. Mm-hmm. They admitted they killed it. You can't scream border security. Hey, this girl died from an immigrant, all this stuff, and then not try to fix the problem. Absolutely. And then sit there and complain about it. And that seems like that's all they do. I think because it's an election year, they're trying to get rid of MTG too. So they're like, yo, you're an idiot right now. You don't understand. And they also came out with a report. They're like, look, we've gave Republicans time. They're not trying to govern. They just want to disrupt and stall.
I mean, I look at it like this. MTG's like one of their number one fundraisers. They're not getting rid of her. But outside of leadership in their party, which is like, what's the guy's name from? I can't remember the name. We call him Mitch McConnell.
Oh, Turtleneck.
Yeah, there you go. Mitch McConnell. Outside of him, and then you got leadership.
You got John DeSantis.
But he's a governor. He's not.
Yeah, they like him though.
Yeah, they deal with him. They do deal with DeSantis. But she's their number one outside of them, the number one fundraiser. And so there's no way they're getting rid of her because I'm sure she's pumping money into the.
And you see Nikki Haley is
anything else.
Nikki Haley coming back too.
She is
because you see, the cases, 34 felonies. They saw it coming. He gonna get some more. He might just not be the pick. I think
he is. I think the smart move, if I were him, even though he kind of almost dogged her out, might be to go with Nikki Haley as his vice.
Well, what he did, he knew she's a threat. That's why he sent her to go be ambassador, exactly, because he knew her power. That's what she was gone for 3 years. Imagine what ground she could have covered while she was here for 3 years, because he knew she was a threat.
But the biggest thing is that she has a large constituency that's looking at not possibly even voting for Trump. There's a huge vote, like never Trump kind of vote that's running with her. And so that might be a smart move or somewhere within the cabinet, something that where she can kind of be closer to the campaign, because she wouldn't have just come back over and been like, okay, fine. Yeah. I'm working with you guys. I'm going to endorse Donald Trump if there wasn't something behind it. She waited that out. I think
she endorsed him, right? Just in case he loses it. Because think about it, he about to get sentenced before the Republican convention. And we were talking about this off camera, right? And I want folks to think about this. If I was Donald Trump, I wouldn't even show up to court no more. I don't have any cases in Florida. They can try to extradite me, but I can have enough MAGA people to surround me 24 hours until this election. And who's going to stop me? He'd be like, hey, it's a sham court, kangaroo court, it's a witch hunt. I'm not showing up to this stuff. Vote for me.
That's all he's been doing, man.
I wouldn't show up no more. I'm like, no, I'm not going back to New York. I don't live there no more. I'm not going to Georgia, not going to Arizona, not going to Pennsylvania.
That's what he did today. You got to look at when he came out today. He said, man, this is bigger than Donald Trump. That's what he came out saying.
Bigger than Nino Brown.
That's what he came out saying today. Basically,
he said, he said on True Social today, he said, I'm a political prisoner of a failing nation, but I will soon be free. November 5th, make America great again.
You look at Biden came out and spoke about this too. So, I don't think he's going to jail. Everyone we talked about this, I don't think he's going to jail. They're probably going to give him probation. Some type of maybe house arrest, but probably not.
Yeah. His stock tumbled, or it's like the stock prices for former President Donald Trump's social media platform, True Social, made turbulent swings in the aftermath of his conviction in New York court on Thursday. It says the immediate aftermath of the verdict, the stock price of True Social plummeted roughly 15%.
It's already been falling already. It's really just it's an albatross. It's not even a real thing that they even looked at as a business. They knew they weren't making any money. I think they made like $4.5 million or something like that, or 4.5 million people were on it. And it just, they're not really making any money.
And the weird thing about politics is that, Republican senators and Congress people and True Social and stuff, it's not that popular. It's just nosy Democrats commenting and being over there seeing what they're talking about.
I think a lot of Republicans on that mug too, man.
No, think about it, bro. Like Mitch McConnell will post something, right? Mm-hmm. And you go into his comments, maybe like 10% of the people are praising him. The rest is people, I hate you. Look at your turtleneck. Put your shell back on. Wear a splinter. But you also look at like Fox News. You think those were Democrats watching Fox News? Yeah. No. There's a lot of people. Fox News, they should have been sued by the voting machine company should have sued them into oblivion and took them out of business.
I'm just saying. I look at like today.
You see the memes where they were like every news station. It's like Donald Trump guilty, Donald Trump guilty, Donald Trump guilty. It was like Fox News. These are the items Taco Bell's taken away from the menu.
They tried to change the subject on it. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Like right now, man, everyone they're galvanized by what just happened to him. They really feel like this has been rigged. They all do. They've been saying it.
People are saying, he was prosecuted by the former president. No, he was prosecuted by a jury of his peers. There were 12 people on it. Even one of the people on there only got his news from Newsmax and True Social. He could have said nah to all of it, and it would have been a hung jury. You know what I'm saying? He even agreed. Bruh, no one gets 34 felonies at once.
That you did everything.
The last time someone got 34 felonies, it was a black dude that jumped over the bench and beat the judge up. Bro, that when they read off all that stuff they gave him, I said, he ain't never going to see daylight.
I'm like this, man. On another...
you remember that? He flew up. He's like, huh!
Yeah, I mean, they try to...
I'm a changed man. I realized I have mental health problems. And she's like, nope, still locking you up. He said, bitch!
Biden to let Ukraine use U.S. weapons to strike Russia. How will this change the war?
Well, it'll change it because the war is going to come to our front door.
The United States has authorized Ukraine to use American-made weapons for strikes within Russian territory, specifically targeting forces involved in Moscow's offensive in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. This decision, approved by President Joe Biden, marks a departure from Washington's previous stance. We look at the reasons behind this policy change and whether it will have a significant impact on the war.
Yeah, because Vladimir Putin came out and he said, if anybody if Ukraine uses anybody's other country's weapons, whatever country's weapons fly over here, I'm sending missiles to y'all. And Biden was like, bet.
I mean, I'm happy somebody's finally said something to him, because this is all he does. He threatens nuclear war. This is what he does every single time. So at this point in time, we don't see the big play. In 2008, he went and commandeered land within Georgia. Georgia is a former Soviet formerly part of the Soviet Union. They broke away in 91 or thereabouts, and they created their own country after the Soviet Union failed. They had a region called it's basically say you have like New Jersey. It's called the South Ossetia. It's the South Ossetia region. They were made up of a bunch of different kind of regions that kind of came together into one. And they had another region like within the northern part of their country up here along, I think it's along the Black Sea, or one of the seas along there. I think it's the Black Sea. And they separated. They went to war with Georgia. And so what Russia did was they sent troops into those countries and kind of like created like separatist regions within their own countries. So they basically helped fund civil wars within old Russian bloc countries. So that was in 2008. Then I think in 2014 is when they went and they took over Crimea. What happened was the same exact thing. The government kind of voted to leave, break away from Ukraine, and then Russia starts sending in these people in black fatigues.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, our green suits, it might have been the green men. I think that's what it might have been. They might have been in green suits, but they went in there and they kind of took over the region, and that's how they took over, ended up taking Crimea. So this has been going on for a while. There's a lot of other regions that are afraid of this starting to happen. So I mean, at the end of the day, we can't blame America for allowing them to start striking in their region, because we know what their intent is. Their intent is to take back all old Russian, like that's Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, all these countries that are now part of NATO are the next countries they're going to have to strike to get back the land that they lost.
Trying to go back to the old USSR.
They have to do this, and if they attack those countries are NATO countries. We have a written agreement, a signed treaty with all these countries that an attack on one is an attack on all. So that means we have to go to war with them. So that means American troops will have to go over there. So,
and that's one thing I liked about Donald Trump. He was like, look, some of these countries ain't even got armies. Why are we defending them? They need to pay more. That made sense. I was like, yeah, I mean, Donald Trump, he is who he is, but he made some valid points about that. It's like, why are we defending these countries that don't have an army? If you ain't got an army, you need we need 40% of everything you got. I'm saying though, you want my protection. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure we'd hate for something to boom happen here to you.
But these countries have armies, but their armies are very minimal. They have very small armies. Like right now, they said that they only at 5% where they could actually protect like the whole east, like that whole side near Poland, all the countries.
And you ain't got no France, protection. You just got a whole bunch of people to get shot.
5% air protection that they can actually fight off if Russia were to send in.
And then airplanes. That makes me so mad about living in Washington. Jets. My bad, I cut you off.
You're good.
Because they only allow us to have 8 shots in our gun. We can't have big guns anymore. So if you're out of luck, you can only have 10-round magazines. We got
to go back and repeal that law. That law needs to be repealed.
Yeah, it needs to be repealed. We don't have school shootings out here. People are here. I mean, you have some crime. There's a lot of gun crime, but they need to just step on the criminals harder. I hate to change the subject.
And you're good.
Yeah. It's one thing about war that I like, pettiness. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about this. North Korea's trash rains onto South Korea, balloon by balloon. So it's like manure, cigarette butts, scraps of clothes, waste batteries, even reportedly diapers. This week, North Korea floated hundreds of huge balloons to dump all the trash across rival South Korea, an old-fashioned Cold War-style provocation that the country has rarely used in recent years. The powerful sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un confirmed Wednesday that North Korea sent the balloons and attached trash sacks. She said they were deployed to make good on her country's recent threat to scatter mounds of waste paper and filth in South Korea in response to leafleting campaigns by the South Korean activists. I love it. I am a petty person. I'm petty as hell. And I think that is petty. The kids are like, oh, look, balloons, pow, poop in your face.
Hey, I'm like, man, right now, honestly, they probably see that North Korea is very weakened right now. Like, there's just so much going on around the world. They're actually sending weapons. That North Korea is sending weapons to Russia.
Really?
Bombs. Yeah, they're sending bombs. They found some I don't know how they can do it with forensics, whatever they use. They kind of can tell where these weapons came from when they land, and they found some evidence that they're North Korean bombs that Russia's sending into Ukraine. But so this may be the whole leafleting thing is a part of the whole thing we were saying about having a regime that's a lineage regime. That's just a part of like your bloodline is pretty much is the leadership of this country. They're probably thinking, we don't know what's going on with dude, but let's see if these people are willing to rise up, and fight the government. That's what they're probably looking at right now. So they're sending over leaflets. These people are sending over over shit.
It's diapers, trash. I'm like, hold on, North Korea got cigarettes? They make it seem like they ain't got nothing.
Cigarette butts though. They did.
Well, they said that they also posted the news like the North Korea made it a law that only Kim Jong-un created tacos or burritos or something like that. And everyone's like, all right.
It's not probably not like they don't have anything. They have a lot.
They have a lot of stuff. Dennis Rodman goes over there. Shout out to Dennis Rodman.
But there's probably a lot of poverty. There's probably a lot of extreme poverty.
Like America.
Well,
America
we have our parts of
America is a 19. I'll say it every time. America's a 1994 Ford Taurus on 20-inch rims.
I mean, I don't know.
It looked nice, but you know what? It's a hoopty.
Compared to who?
Compared to who?
We have this. Compared to what country do you think that America's a hoopty compared to who?
Canada.
I mean, I don't know. You got to look at Canada has its problems too. They have free healthcare. They got free healthcare and stuff like that. But Canada's
they paid everyone $1,200 a month while COVID was going on, and you got free healthcare until the pandemic was over, and they still gave you free healthcare. They gave us $1,200. These old dinosaurs said, "Here you go, sonny. Don't spend it all in one place."
But just remember also that
it cost me $1,200 to cash the check.
Just remember too, though, their government set up different than ours, though. Too, they're more of almost like a socialist type of government.
They're for the people.
There. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying they're not, but this is socialism we're talking about now. We want to talk about socialism.
Sure, we could talk about.
Do we want to talk about?
Every time I see the people in Canada, they look healthy.
Don't get me wrong.
They look healthy and happy.
We all can tend to agree, but then do we want socialism in this country? Is that what we're asking for? Are we asking to be told, okay, you can go see this doctor, you can only go here, this is how much this is going to cost us, how much you're going to sell this for? Do we want to be told that?
I think we're kind of ready for it. I think we're kind of ready. I mean, it sucks that you have to go to the store and people are choosing their insulin. It's like either I eat or I have my insulin because the insulin's $400 and the groceries is $300. Bro, it's cheaper to eat out than it is to eat at McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean,
car payments are $800 a month. People in Florida are losing their homes because their home insurance is $10,000 a year. Gas is $5. Bro, when I was a kid, gas was 47 cents. We had $5, we was rolling.
Hey, trust me, I feel it. I understand these things.
You used to be able to work at Burger King and have your own place. Now you got to work at Burger King and McDonald's and take out the trash at Wendy's so you can live in a house with 10 people. Everyone's uncomfortable and unhappy. And fuck Joe Biden because he wants to get rid of Newport cigarettes.
Hey, at the end of the day, man, like I say,
that's the only way he ain't getting my vote.
If we're serious about socialism, then we need to go in that direction. One more quick thing I want to run through real fast.
Yeah.
China's positions advance J-20 stealth fighters jets 150 kilometers from Sikkim, which is India. China has stationed its most advanced J-20 Mighty Dragon 5th generation fighter jets with stealth capabilities barely less than 150 kilometers away from the line of actual control near India's Sikkim. This development came after all sources analysis, a firm that looks at the geospatial intelligence, released satellite imagery that showed the presence of as many as 6 Chinese Air Force J-20 stealth fighters at a dual-use military civilian airport at Tibet's Shagast. Well, the reason why I want to bring this up right here is basically just another conflict area. I mean, we got Taiwan going on. When people are pushing these different buttons at a certain time, it's for a reason. Like I look at Joe Biden's decision to try to get rid of what's going on over in Gaza with a peace treaty, which is smart right now. He should. It's because, first of all, you had this huge tent bombing. Then at the same time, you got public opinion against you, but he didn't.
And then Israel took over the border between Egypt and Gaza.
Yep.
And so that's basically circling them in.
Yeah, I mean, Egypt also has like they had a pact that Israel would never do that. That was part of a pact that they wouldn't ever militarize that border right there with Israeli troops. And so they're fringe on breaking that as well.
Well, that was the only thing that was going to happen after that was them circling them people and killing them all.
Yeah, I mean, so this is what I'm thinking is that these different things are all being pushed on for a reason at one time. You're kind of squeezing.
Well, we're spread out. That's what's happening to us right now.
Thin. You know, we have not defense treaties with India, but we do have sort of some pacts with India, which I think that's they're part of a thing called, I think it's the Squad or something else a little bit different, or Quad or something like that. Where it's over in the South Pacific region. But what I look at is like, this is going to probably push India towards being an American ally sooner than later. We're friendly. We have friendly relations.
Yeah, I watch the movies on Netflix.
Yeah, this is going to push them towards being an ally of ours sooner than later, because they don't have 5th generation jets. They only got like 4.5 generation, or I don't know
I didn't realize India had an army until you were talking about them fighting at the border.
And India has 1.4 billion people.
So Wes had informed me, and I remember watching the video, the Indian and the Chinese troops. So at the border, it's like a no man's land, so they can't shoot each other, right? So there's a video, and we could put it in there, we probably won't. But there's a video of them, and both sides got sticks, and they're only allowed to have mutual combat fights. Yeah. So there's a video of them, and there's mob.
Every now and then there's like, it's very seldom, like, every few years there's someone who dies actually from this right here. There might have people that die. But this is like, these are huge portions of land. They're called the line of actual control. There's 2 separate portions of this. One on like the northeastern and the side of India, and the other one on the northwestern side of India. These are just huge swaths of land where both parties say that it's their land.
Yeah,
and they got troops in there, and they just fight about them all the time. Basically, every day they're fighting each other.
Yeah, it says 2,100 miles of border between the two of them, and it's like, and it says that when hand-to-hand fighting between the two sides resulted in the death of at least 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers.
So this is what goes on over there. They have a big problem. People don't understand that those two people they've had a problem for a very, very long time, because they've been taking their land. Tibet, they've actually went into Tibet. China has put troops in Tibet, which is another, I think northeastern.
It's kind of like a Taiwan thing going on there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And so this is, like Sri Lanka, they've got diplomatic ties as an island right off of the, which is like just like Taiwan, basically.
Yeah, I heard Nicki Minaj say it in a song.
Right off the coast of India. Sri Lanka's friends with who? China. China's went over there, put money in their pocket, helped them build things, giving them this, giving them that, because they understand that their biggest threat is India. Economically, that's their biggest threat, because they're the only people who can compete with them in manpower. Because they know that you got that many people, you don't have jobs for all these people, so you can put them in an army. You can, or just the army, or manufacturing of any sort, or any kind of like data gathering, anything. You got an army of workers. That's what you have. They have one of the youngest population, if not the youngest population in the world, either them or a country over in Africa. I can't remember which one. Got the youngest population. So having that plus a large population, it's crazy. I was gonna I had one other thing too. Really quickly, Eric.
It is really crazy. There's a lot of conflict going on in the world, folks. And the only reason like America doesn't really get attacked because our civilians are so armed.
Yep. That's one of the only reasons why they don't say anything to us. I feel like they understand we got more guns than we got people.
Yeah.
I think we got 120 guns for every 100 people.
I saw the one dude, he had 2 6-shooters. He had the fake bazooka thing on his back. He had the AR in his hand, ordering Subway. I said, bruh, that Subway sandwich is $18 now.
18, huh?
It's close enough, bro. It's expensive. This one lady said her and her husband went to Subway the other day and it cost them $44 to eat. I said, what did you order? You must have got double meat. It used to be $5 footlongs. That's what I'm saying,
double
bro.
Meat, double cheese.
Yeah.
But what I
you want it toasted? Nah, it's extra now.
What I was saying though, because even now the Biden administration is planning on sending some migrants to Greece and Italy for resettlement. This has been going on already. It's back into what we were saying. With those people having such large populations, that helps them. It insulates them. So
Greece's population is dying.
It's dying. It all kind of feeds back into our bigger theory of these conflicts and problems are going on because of depopulation. People don't really understand what's really happening.
Yeah.
Like the reason why India's about to be a superpower. So that's why China looks at them as a threat, because China's population is declining. They understand that India is
Russia's population is declining.
You get what
UK's population is declining, and the migrants, and so it seems like it's everyone's last ditch effort to get their name in the history books.
You look at it even like,
or destroy the planet before anybody, the brown folks take over again.
I mean, you look at it like this, even with like Italy's fertility, it's because it's not even birth rate. It's fertility rate and birth rate are two different things. And I've been saying it. So it's fertility rate more than anything else. Basically, Italy's fertility rate is 1.3 per woman. 1.3 children come per woman. You really need over 2.2 in order for you to keep up your fertility rate in your country. Spain's was 1.47. Greece is 1.39. And Canada is 1.5.
Isn't Spain about to be underwater anyways?
Probably a lot of places are.
Where do they go with the boats? And that's
Italy.
That's Italy. Okay, Italy. Yeah, no, that's about to be underwater.
They have huge areas where you can go get a house for $1, but bigger than anything else. So what they've been doing already is sending like the migrants that come to America. Yeah. They've been shipping them to these other countries, like to help populate these countries. They're like, hey, give us your people, because they need people.
Yeah.
Like, this all leads back to just getting back into the India thing. This is why China wants to fight with India right now, because they understand what's coming. There's probably natural resources up in those areas as well, too, that they want to fight about. This is why they're kind of positioning themselves with getting ready to take over Taiwan. Taiwan has like the 20th largest GDP in the entire world. That would like bringing in a huge chunk to get them on board with you guys. I mean, it's just right now we're in a situation to where there's going to be a lot of conflict for a long time. Yeah. People have to fight right now, and so this is why I think all the bunkers are being built. Not,
and everybody, because they know they get ahead of it. Just like that show, that movie, Leave the World Behind. Mm-hmm. He said, "Hey, they can't stop it, but it's nice to get when your rich folks friends give you a heads up about it." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But all the conflict in the world, everything that's going on, we're going to keep you updated here at Uncommon Courtesy. Like, listen, subscribe, share. And also, we got a product here. It's crime scene seasoning. Now, crime scene means when you get your food so good and you get done eating it and you look at the plate and a couple of chicken bones down there, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of broccoli, it looks like a crime scene because the food was so good. So go ahead and get some crime scene seasoning. That's great marketing. I just can't believe how that man came up with that name. I'm just so inventive.
Hey, this is for a nonprofit organization. They sell these. It'll really help out that nonprofit. They do a lot of great work in our area. They have backpack drives. They have homeless feeds. They feed them. They give away free shoes to the homeless, haircuts. They do. They have different job opportunities, things like that there's different forums that they do. Like I said, they do backpack drives for the kids, giving away like 1,000 backpacks a year.
Give the homeless people shoes, haircuts,
Thanksgiving feeds. They do book drives. This will be. We'll leave the link in the bio. You can go check it out in the details. The link will be in the details of where you can get this from. But this is our one of our sponsors right here, which is Doc Loves the Kids. It's a crime scene
seasoning.
Yeah, absolutely. So
for all the meats and all the foods you can get, Uncommon Courtesy. We're gonna see y'all next time.